The newest Dragon Ball anime, the last story that Akira Toriyama spearheaded, is now officially here. As a lifelong Dragon Ball fan, I have been waiting for this series to drop so we can talk about it. Off the bat, you're not going to see a lot of anime footage in this review. I'm not interested in playing copyright cat and mouse with Toei, but you will get my honest and scripted review. We're going to be talking non-spoilers since this is super hot off the press, but we'll do a couple minutes of episode 1 spoiler talk right at the end. I'll mark it accordingly with timestamps and a big spoiler text on screen for the whole segment. Dragon Ball Daima Episode 1, a massive 31-minute premiere that had me very impressed. I think I now sort of get the potential of Dragon Ball Daima. This is actually far more of an entry point into the world of Dragon Ball than I first thought it would be, kind of like the Netflix live-action One Piece was, as this easy entry point for potential fans who found the 1,000 episodes of One Piece too intimidating. Maybe DBZ's nearly 300 episodes is a bit scary, and the 130 episodes of Super and the 100 plus episodes of Dragon Ball, it's all too much. You could jump into this 20-something episode show and see if Toriyama's Dragon World works for you. And so far, episode 1 is an excellent stage setter and recap of Dragon Ball Z told through the perspective of brand new characters watching the events of Z play out. This helps old school fans who maybe haven't watched the show in 20 years get reacclimated, and for hardcore fans, you're also being treated to new animation for some of the series' most iconic moments. New characters from the Demon Realm are starting an uprising following the defeat of Demon King Dabura, Babidi, and Majin Buu at the hands of Goku and his allies in the Buu Saga. Instantly, the Demon Realm potential is so fascinating. There's always been this untapped vein in the body of Dragon Ball that is demons, magic, and this unexplored realm. We had Piccolo believing he was a Demon King up until the events of the Saiyan Saga where he learned he was an alien. We had Dabura in the Buu Saga where it was casually mentioned that this dude is the Demon King who just so happens to share an uncanny resemblance with Lucifer, Beelzebub's father in the Sandland series, also by Toriyama. And by the way, that visual connection and the exploration of the Demon Realm also makes me want to pose this question. Just like how Toriyama looped Jacko the Galactic Patrolman into Revival F and Dragon Ball Super more generally, are we about to see the Prince from Sandland interact with Goku in Daima? We are going to the Demon Realm. We have seen other Toriyama characters like Arale and Jacko show up in Dragon Ball and in Super. I personally think the odds are quite high for a Sandland kind of crossover cameo thing. But back to the episode, Toriyama's interest in weird sci-fi ships is on full display with the machinery our new villains utilize. There is also 3D animation here with the ship travel that is subtle. When I first watched the Daima trailer last year, I was praying this show would be traditional 2D animation and not 3D like Superhero, since I wasn't a big fan of that direction. Daima is of course majority 2D, but the small bits of 3D I have seen are working well and don't detract in any way. As was shown in the reveal trailer, episode 1 contains this awesome base form one-on-one between Vegeta and Goku. As I said, I wasn't a fan of Super's 3D art style, and so that movie's Vegeta versus Goku one-on-one didn't do too much for me. This one, on the other hand, is classic and modern, nostalgic and fresh. I was so glad we got this before the kidification of our cast. The first episode with its Z recap was, I think, a dream episode for hardcore DBZ fans, but I'm curious what that crowd will think of the rest of the show. Daima, with its mini Goku and exploration of a new fantasy world, it's not an obvious Z successor, though this first episode sure was, but this new concept is incredibly Toriyama. Sandland, Jacko, Dr. Slump, Superhero, Pink. There is a playfulness on display combined with action and heart that defines so much of Toriyama's work, and I'm seeing it right here in Daima. The fact the big bad is this goofy little guy resembling a Pilaf or a Dr. Hedo and not a Broly or a Jiren. The Z Saga is inarguably my favorite part of Toriyama's career, don't get it twisted, but from reading and watching his other works, I feel like I understood what Toriyama was really passionate about creating, at least these last 20 years, and Daima seems to be that. I'm also feeling good about this show's reported episode count. It seems we are getting approximately 20 to 25 episodes of Daima. I vastly prefer this over a forever anime with no set end date because it communicates that there is a premeditated beginning, middle, and end to this story. I think that's super exciting as we've never had a Dragon Ball anime of this length and format. They have a singular story to tell us, and I'm looking forward to receiving it. I should mention, this show is stunning. I think its shorter runtime may be partially responsible for how good this series will look, but I'm so happy with how it's looking. It's not the Broly movie style, and it's not the Super or the Z style. It feels like its own thing, but it's also incredibly faithful to Toriyama's manga. It already has me wanting an OG Dragon Ball remake in this art style. So if it wasn't clear already, I was very impressed with episode 1 of Dragon Ball Daima. I'll admit I was already primed to like this thing, hoping to like this thing, but I was not expecting episode 1 to be such a love letter to Dragon Ball Z. I think fans are gonna really dig this. I'm extremely intrigued by the elements of the Demon Realm, this new Demon King who stepped up following the demise of Dabura, his Demon Realm equivalent of a Supreme Kai, and some other elements that I will touch on briefly in the upcoming spoiler section. Great start to an incredibly promising story in the Dragon Ball timeline. If Dragon Ball Daima keeps up this quality, it will be a fantastic addition to Toriyama's Dragon World and a worthy new addition to the short list of Dragon Ball anime. Thanks for watching, especially those of you who come to my channel for Digimon or Beyblade. Don't worry, this is not me doing a total channel pivot or abandoning those other shows, but I just needed to talk about Daima at least once. If you want more Daima coverage, be sure to comment and subscribe to let me know. And if you don't, no worries, there's a new Digimon video coming this week. But now, let me do some spoiler bullet points. If you're not interested, you can click off now. Thanks so much for watching up until this point. Episode 1 only spoilers, so like no leaks. Let's talk episode 1 in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Like I said in the core review, Dabura at the center of this story is awesome. He was such an unexplored concept in the original Z. Here we learn about his father, Abura, and the Tertian Oculus, which his family line has utilized. Knowing that Dabura is from a line of kings has me wondering if Lucifer from Sandland is possibly an ancestor or future descendant of the Abura/Dabura lineage. We learned that the Demon Realm has its own set of Dragon Balls, but that 3 powerful Tamagami protect them. These 3 are so strong, it seems even the new Demon King Goma and Degesu are afraid of confronting the Tamagami. Curious to learn more about them. Neba, this new Namekian, was in trailers, but here we learn the Demon Realm has Namekians, at least one, and that actually the Namekians we know from Universe 7, their ancestors are from the Demon Realm. If I'm not mistaken, this has been stated or hinted at in some of the tertiary Dragon Ball media, like the super manga and the games, but we never had this confirmed in anime form, I don't think. This idea that our Namekians are in fact demons, this is huge and recontextualizes the fact that Demon King Piccolo thought he was a demon, not an alien. Turns out he wasn't wrong. He's both, technically. Universe 7 and the multiverse also got a shout out in this episode. Even though this story is set before the events of Super, we are acknowledging the multiverse here, and that's cool. Kibito and the Supreme Kai are separated here, even though Z said it was a permanent fusion with Potara, and we get a hilarious explanation as for how they became separate. Knowing that Vegito split inside Buu, the Kibito Kai had the good Majin Buu eat him and spit him out to separate them. It worked and confirmed their theory that Buu produces a mysterious gas that can reverse Potara. I thought this was hilarious, classic Toriyama. Gohan is missing. He's too busy studying to attend the birthday party, which had me believing he wouldn't be turned into a child until I heard the exact phrasing of Goma's wish. Goma asked Shenron, quote, "Turn the ones who fought Majin Buu and all of their friends into children." So that would include Gohan even if he wasn't at the party. I'm now curious if we'll ever see him in Daima, and if he is a kid, will he look like Saiyan Saga Gohan with the long hair, Namek Saga Gohan with the bowl cut, or some kind of mini version of adult Gohan, like how this new Kid Bulma and Kid Chi-Chi maintain their adult haircuts. That's all I got for now. Spoilers over. Again, thanks so much for listening to me yap about Daima. Hope you enjoyed this. Let me know your thoughts in the comments.